in. You're in. We're in.
Like Flynn.
Welcome to the Elk Season Podcast, Season 2, Episode 5. Today is February 9th, 2023, and there are 201 days until elk season.
Only 200.
We are the Chambers Brothers. My name is Harold.
I'm David.
And today on the Elk Season Podcast,
We have watershed updates.
Yeah.
We have wolf conversation update.
several.
Yes.
Lots of wolves.
Yes.
Wolves, and more wolves.
And I have something related to the wolves that I involved myself with just today.
Oh,
So
All right.
I'll detail that. Also have a CWD update.
yeah.
So
yeah.
And there's much more. So stay tuned. We usually
so much more.
So today we're gonna get to those conversations later, but we usually start off kind of recapping, what are our personal goals in terms of fitness and health
Yeah.
and getting.
Yeah.
So I wondered if that's where I should start, or should
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
segue differently?
Yeah, let's start right there.
All right.
Let's start right there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm right where I am actually right where I was hoping to be that I predicted on the podcast.
Awesome. 259.
259.
Excellent,
And for the
excellent.
last 2 days, I went up over the weekend. That's kind of my trend, but there's something about my current focus on only nailing down the weight that I lose
Right.
that seems to be helping.
Okay.
I'm not changing my diet, but I'm changing how much I eat, and I'm changing, snacking habits even, right?
Right.
So I don't know. I'm feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to get to the next threshold though, which is 9 pounds away. So,
Right.
but it feels good to break that threshold again. I haven't been here since prior to last elk season. I didn't get below the 260 mark. I came out
Yeah.
at 260 last
Yeah.
year, and it was actually, I think, the prior spring was the last time I saw 258.
yeah.
So,
So I came in at 255. It is what I expected. I lost another 4 pounds this last week. And I think the last time I weighed in this light, sadly, was after I packed my elk out.
yeah.
That whole weekend, I was so dehydrated and so out of energy. I weighed in at 256 after drinking, 3/4 of a gallon of Gatorade on my way home.
Yeah.
I mean, so anyways, I was 256 then. It was not the same 255 pounds that I am now. But however, a week from today is my first cheat meal.
That's right.
I have had
Yeah.
the same 3 meals every single day since January 2nd.
Okay.
And my first cheat meal is next Thursday. I was hoping we could have a beer on the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm only going to have 1 beer, so can we make it a 40?
I'd be even up for changing. Well, we don't have to do this, but I'd be even up for like splitting a beer
Splitting a beer?
because it's a portion control thing for me.
Okay, no
So-
deal.
So if that's the case, bring the beer and I'll try
Okay.
to. This is, I'm doomed. I'll try to drink only half.
Have you had anything since dry January?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't yet.
So Rogue Brewery, which is one of my favorites
Yeah.
on the Oregon coast, they have a beer called Bat Squatch.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that one, actually.
So gross.
yeah, I like that one. Yeah. It's okay.
I imagine the Bat Squatch caricature on the can.
So if I bought you that, you would only drink half?
I would not want it. I would.
Yeah.
That would help me with my diet because I wouldn't drink it. I imagine that the caricature of the Bat Squatch on this can.
Yeah.
I imagine that this substance in the can is what it urinates.
You're right.
Okay, it's gross,
Is its liquefied guts. That's
And-
what it tastes like.
and it's on the shelves everywhere here in this area.
Yeah.
Next to the Rogue Dead Guy, which is the premium beer. Anyway,
Pretty good.
so there was a pack that we got, a mixed pack somewhere, and it didn't have Bat Squatch. It had something different with a dragon.
Yeah.
And I couldn't remember. I actually have some because you know what I found on the shelf, sadly, next to the Bat Squatch, but it was this other Rogue beer that's so much better.
What's it called?
I can't remember.
It has a name. You
It's-
know how
it's- but
names
it's
and
got a-
faces
it-
are.
We talked about this before the podcast, and somehow it's still a
Yeah.
mnemonic didn't work for me here.
Yeah.
It's a drag. It's got a dragon caricature.
Okay.
And it tastes really good. Anyway, so we've been splitting those over the last.
Rogue Dragon Face.
It's not. No, God, what did I?
the official drink of the Elk Season Podcast.
Hold on. Okay, Google.
All right.
Rogue Brewery beer.
Dragon face. What did it come up with?
It's just it's bringing up Rogue Ales and
Oh,
Spirits,
okay.
but I wanted to. Oh, I've been there. Wow. Okay. Anyway, God, I can't remember what it is. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I've had it. It's got like a 9.2 alcohol.
Oh,
content,
wow.
But it's pretty high. But it's really yummy. Is all I'm
Yeah.
saying. Anyway, when we had that, I'm like, how is this not what's on the shelf? Like this should be what's on the shelf next to the dead guy. Why are they forcing us to have Bat Squatch? Even the mix pack from Costco. Not to get angry. This is an elk podcast, not a beer podcast.
I'm upset that I didn't talk to you about it first too.
I know.
It's so
A
frustrating.
simple phone call,
So it's all
email,
it takes.
texting, anything. Anyways,
please, for everyone's sake,
Anyway.
obviously.
so there's that. Not a big deal. It's just some simple gripe, but I forgot even why we started that. But
Because we were talking
angry.
about because we haven't had very much beer this year, and beer sounds good right
So-
now. That's why we're to beer. What beer?
Vesa heard me ranting just now, and she texted me the beer's name.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Is what?
Colossal Claude.
Colossal Claude.
It's called
Okay.
Colossal Claude, and it's got a dragon on it.
Okay.
So we got to be careful with what we say in here.
All right. Well,
I'm just kidding.
I
Well,
always am. As careful as I ever am, I guess.
thank you, honey.
So yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to drinking some beer. I have next week starts the CrossFit Open, which is an open competition for anybody who wants to compete in the fittest competition. I don't know what they to compete against the fittest people in the world, and it's really fun. You do the same workouts as the fittest people in the world.
Cool.
And you get to measure yourself against them by age category, by state, or by both.
Nice.
And it's really fun, and I really enjoy the CrossFit Open. I enjoy competing in CrossFit, and it's probably it's part of why I'm losing weight. Part of why I CrossFit though is for elk season.
Yeah.
I mean, it really
So-
the biggest reason is
And as surprising as this is, I was actually hoping to segue back to something related to that aspect of fitness because I didn't do CrossFit,
Right.
But I walked around campus the other day,
Yeah.
and I developed a blister.
yeah.
And it surprised me because it was actually just yesterday. I got home and I take my shoes off and I'm walking around the house and the ball of my feet has this spot that's really sore. And I'm like, what the
Yeah.
heck? And I forgot that I'd walked around campus and it was a clear indicator like, hey, buddy, you need to move more. And I mentioned that last week. Like, I have the weight protocol down in terms of diet, but what I struggle with is moving. So part of my inspiration is, if I have a moment, stop sitting in my office. If I just get out and walk, so walking around campus. So clearly I've regressed on my feet where I need to build up calluses again from simply
Yeah.
walking on a flat freaking surface. So anyway, it was kind of
Yeah.
eye-opening. And
Our feet get soft quick in the winter
Yeah.
time. Big
So,
socks,
much
big,
appreciation.
big boots and shoes.
you can't take your eye off the prize ever.
Yeah.
And that's,
Yeah.
good health so you can have a good time up in elk country.
Yeah, so you just don't die in elk country. You just don't want to die, and you have to be tough. And I fear the older I get, the tougher I'm going to have to be to do the crazy stuff that I do.
SOB.
When you go up in the woods, I had a tough time. It's just difficult. And the extra, I've lost over 25, at least 25 pounds this year.
Yeah.
Hopefully shooting for another 25.
Yeah.
And then we'll see how many more I need to lose after that.
It's funny how I've noticed my body changing because of my focus. And I met this
Yeah.
threshold in the last week of where my weight's at.
Yeah.
But you know how you kind of check your body over?
Yeah.
And I can feel the change in my body.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's different than other times I've lost weight, which makes me hopeful that I'm heading in the right direction to continue sustaining weight loss.
Yeah.
Because the extra pounds, like to carry out elk, like watching Elk 101, Destination Elk carrying out their elk.
Yeah, they put on some pounds on those packs.
Yeah, I
That
kind
was
of
big.
want one of those packs.
Those guys, yeah. That's exactly what I need a new pack. I thought I needed a new pack last year.
Yeah.
And I ended up not getting one. and everything worked out fine, obviously.
But getting rid of that extra baggage, is important. And so I'm, again, trying to stay, we have our processes, and I think it's cool to be able to share that variety of process with whoever listens, because, it's going to be different for everybody. And even if you're from the same gene pool, it's just different.
And I'll continue to update everybody. I CrossFit 5 times a week. I don't do anything extra. All my focus right now is on not eating, which is a lot. So I have the same 3 meals.
And my focus is just on eating more intentionally.
Yeah.
And focusing on, psychologically helping me not lose sight of the fact that I need to lose weight because I'm obese.
Right.
So
same here. I'm still a walrus. I lost 25 pounds. I'm still a walrus.
And but the tactic for me is to just focus on that end game without I'm going to see my weight fluctuate.
Yeah.
But not to give it undue attention by
and that's how Dad did it. I remember seeing Dad one year. You don't see the folks for a while. You go out 6 months later and you go, geez, Dad, what happened to you?
Yeah.
And he goes, I just stopped having seconds. That was it. Yeah. He didn't change he didn't jump off a cliff and eat nothing but grapes and, but he took the long term. He goes, I'm just stopped having seconds. And I know, and it doesn't matter how you lose it. You go slow like that, you go fast like me, you can gain it right back.
Oh yeah.
It's no problem. December. I would like to cite the case December.
Oh my gosh.
So you can put it back on. And I use January. I just feel like hibernation, like January from January 1st to Valentine's Day. It's like the perfect starvation, hibernation.
Sure.
Nobody needs to eat for 6 weeks. You'll be fine. Just stop eating for 6 weeks.
And this is how bad it can get for some folks, and this will probably be very telling about me, but you mentioned, the Christmas holiday season.
Yeah.
What was my goal in the Christmas holiday season? To not gain as much weight as the previous holiday season.
Yeah. I want to gain weight during the holidays. It's kind of a, I don't know, it's a fun tradition. It's kind of a fun tradition to put on a few pounds through the holidays, and January 1st, we all set goals and we just let it go back off. It's okay. And I don't mind that kind of ebb and flow. I should have started at a lighter weight in December.
Yeah. I think that's,
right? That's the idea. And I'm trying to use this hibernation extreme diet as a catalyst to something a little better sustainable, a little more sustainable. And I know that it will because I've just gotten used to eating the same thing, and I can't believe I ate so much stuff all the time, just constantly shoveling. And to make it through, so I've got things coming up, right? I got the CrossFit Open coming out. So how do I eat enough? And my workouts suck right now.
Okay,
bad. I mean, I am so low on energy. It's just embarrassing. I usually can move a lot faster in the gym, and now we get 2 minutes into the workout, my hands are on my knees, and I'm heaving for life. And it's because I just don't have the carbohydrates. My body just cannot replace the energy like it needs to, which is okay. That's what I'm after. But but how do I have enough energy to compete and still try to lose weight? So the next 3 weeks are going to be very difficult for me. My plan is to scorch earth it for 5 days a week, carb up on Thursday, and carb out, have a little more energy on Friday before the workout, and then get back to scorched earth on Saturday. And then after those 3 weeks, I have 7-day trip to Mexico. So Cancun. So I'm double fisting margaritas. I'm telling you right now, that's why we do it. And my wife's on a diet right now too.
You said that's May?
That's in March.
Oh, March. Sorry.
So we have 3 weeks of the CrossFit Open, and then the following week I'm gone.
Yeah.
So my plan is to come back from Mexico, hopefully under 250 pounds.
Okay.
So I'm probably going to weigh in on Monday, and we'll go over it next week.
Okay.
I'll probably be in really close to 250 on Monday, and hopefully by the Open, I'm right around that 250 mark, and I can maybe maintain a 1 or 2 pound a week weight loss up until Mexico. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to make it. Just kidding. So I don't know if I'm going to make it back from Mexico under 250 pounds, but we'll see. We'll see.
You might surprise
But
yourself.
when I come back from Mexico, then it's going to be scorched earth again.
Yeah.
All the way through Earth Day, April
Okay.
22nd, which is my wedding,
Yeah.
marriage. What do you call that?
An anniversary.
Anniversary. There you go.
We got each other's backs.
Anyway.
Most of the time. There's sometimes we both forget equally.
Whatever. So,
Who are
anyways,
you?
I know that's a really long explanation, but we'll see what comes of it. I have my picture, the picture. I just take a picture of the scale and my feet, and
Yeah.
once a week is all I do.
I weigh every day, but like I focus on, that downward number.
Yeah.
And so it's creating a really interesting graph in my app on my phone where I'm recording this.
Yeah.
It's a very nice slanted hill because it's usually a pound at a time, even though it's days
Right.
apart.
Right.
But it's just this slope that's just
Right.
straight.
And you don't count tenths of pounds or
No,
Okay.
I've decided not to do that because I think it's too trivial.
yeah.
It'll drive you bonkers. So I'm just going
Yeah,
around. I'm just rounding.
Okay.
If I'm in that range, I'm in that range.
Okay.
So if I'm 259.9,
Oh, gotcha.
I'm 259. But if I'm
Okay.
260.1, I'm 260.
Okay.
So it's just That's just it. To me, I think that has helped to not get too picky about what
Don't
I'm
get hung
looking
up
at.
on
Because yesterday morning I was 259.9.
okay.
This morning I was
I'll take it.
I was 259.1
Okay. Oh, awesome.
this
Yeah.
morning. So, it's just, you're still seeing those little things, but it's the big markers that I'm focused
Right.
on. And, just not beating myself up when I go up because weight will fluctuate.
Yeah.
And recognizing though, but those are important markers because if I want to meet that next deadline, it psychologically sets me up to work a little more intentionally, to maybe not reach for that thing in the fridge or in the cabinet, and to drink more water
Yeah.
or to go for a walk because it's important. That to me has really shaped my mentality. That process has been helpful this time around. And I actually talked about it in class this morning, how last year at this time, I was getting up every day, weighing myself on a scale. I had an Excel sheet I could pull up on this computer behind me and show you last year's tracking. I did it for 3 months straight, every single day.
Wow.
But I plateaued, and it was frustrating because I'm doing this whole thing. I'm just on this wave, and I'm like, this is stupid. So I just stopped because there's a certain point where it's not worth it. But I
Right.
thought, well, I do track my weight, but what am I missing that would be most beneficial? And I thought, well, what do they always say? And what does psychology teach me? Focus on the outcome you want, not the one that you don't. And by writing down or registering the weight that goes up, that's a focus in the wrong direction. So I'm only
Okay.
focused on the weight that goes down relative to the last time I was down, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
So it's just, to me, it's just refining that effort, and
Yeah.
I'm seeing currently pretty good results. I don't have low energy.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, I do feel a little bit hungrier. Like it was really getting me. But I had a good lunch today, which was surprising to me. But I had a banana, so I'm more likely to reach for fruits. Buying more grapes. I found some great grapes at Freddy's a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Are they the candy ones?
candy
There's,
ones.
Yeah, they're called candy grapes. They taste like candy.
Oh,
There's
no.
also cotton candy grapes that taste like cotton candy.
I didn't.
They're so good. And they sell them up here at Blue Rock Farmers Market.
I didn't know that.
On occasion, but you can still find them at Freddy's and stuff.
They're grown that way.
Yeah, they're
Or
bred.
they're flavored?
They're bred.
Oh,
they're
wow.
bred to be flavored that way. It's amazing. Yeah, great.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm taking notes.
yeah. A lot of
So-
interesting flavors in.
So just
grapes.
just to get a couple of things out of the way here. So so you can throw them up if you want to, but we've talked about the ravaging of the water through Ripper Pass.
Yes.
And so I threw a couple pictures up, and hopefully that our viewers who are watching this can see.
Yeah, this is a single event. This
Yeah.
is a single event. So here's a picture of before, right?
Yeah, the before picture, and let me see if I can find the date here. The before date, I think, is 2018.
Okay.
So it's because 2019. I think it's either 18 or 19.
Okay.
So prior to pandemic. So it's a gorgeous green, lush, with rocks and all that. And you'll see we've mentioned that it's one of our favorite places because there's a little spring that comes out. So you'll see the spring
Yeah.
on the right of the image. And so that's this is the before, and then the after. It's a narrow focus. It's not a wide angle,
Right.
but it's the same valley, and you'll see
It's the same gully, the same little hillside.
same gully, and you'll see
Well, it's
the
a hillside in
destruction.
one picture. It's a gully in the next.
Yeah, there's a tree
Yeah.
towards the bottom of this that you'll kind of, if you were to zoom in, you'd be like, oh, okay, I see it. Yeah. So it's just crazy, and that gash that you're looking at is up to 4 or 5 feet deep.
Yeah, easy. Easy.
It's deceiving on that.
We
image.
and it was too wide to simply jump across.
Yeah.
Because it would be too dangerous. You fall into it.
Yeah.
You could be hurt, and we're a long way from help. So
Yep.
we had to find a safe place to cross where the washout. Yeah, because it was so steep. It was amazing. That was amazing.
Yeah, just what Mother
Yeah.
Nature does.
So I don't know if we want to jump in to some YouTube stuff. Do some YouTube stuff first. Talk about YouTube.
We can. I don't know that there's a whole lot to really go through.
Maybe you don't.
Oh, I mean, okay.
I watched some wolf hunts.
Oh, wow. Oh, I got you. So-
And I saved the pictures there. I took pictures. I was so impressed by some of these outdoor videos on YouTube.
So let's just start the wolf conversation, and anything here
Yeah.
that's
So
wolf.
let's start it with a picture of a wolf, a dead wolf, and a dead coyote hanging side by side. Do you see that one? Let's just go for size comparison, because you see these guys, you see the wolves, you see the guys shoot the wolves, you see the dead wolves, and you okay,
yeah. Oh, geez.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
But then the guy picks up the wolf, and that wolf is almost as big as the dude. They're so big. They're
Yeah.
100 pounds. They're so big. And some of them have been recorded at 140, 150, 160 pounds. And some of the younger and less some of the younger females can be in that 70, 80 gram. But they're so big.
It's huge.
That's such a
Huge.
big difference. People, if anybody ever tells you, I think I saw a wolf, they didn't. They saw a coyote.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
Because if you saw a wolf, you'd know it.
Yeah. I've seen one wolf in the wild.
Yeah.
I got a picture of it in 2006.
I've seen 3, and I was so excited. I thought for sure I had video on my phone of them, but I did not take any video. I was just so excited seeing wolves. And now I've watched some wolf videos, some wolf hunting videos, because neither one of these hunting videos is a wolf hunting video. In
Okay.
one, they're hunting elk, and another, they're hunting bear. But they have wolf tags. I have a quick trivia question for you.
Okay.
Who kills more elk in Idaho, wolves or sportsmen?
Wolves.
Is it?
I
Sportsmen kill 20,000 elk a year.
I honestly have no idea.
And you're right. Wolves kill more.
I was saying
In
that based on
fact-
something that I came across earlier today, which will be part of my wolf conversation.
So part of this wolf conversation, this is really great media. I don't know if you can pull up and read
that
who
one?
is the presenter. No. It's a different one. It's the one with the pop-up. There's a raft on it.
Oh yeah. It's, that one.
Those guys are really cool because you're watching YouTube.
Ryan's raft. Yeah.
Yeah, as they're crossing in a raft, these guys are backpacked into Idaho.
Wow.
They have to bring a raft to cross a river. We have to bring water shoes.
Yeah.
They have a raft.
That's cool.
And they spot something on the other side of the river, of the ravine. They got to go down, inflate a raft, fill it, go across, and regroup.
Wow.
And they do, and it's really amazing. But not only that, they do pop-ups on the video. Here you're watching a video, you're watching them across the river, but they pop it up and say, hey, this is the equipment we're using right now.
That's cool.
Check it out. There's a link in the description below. Yeah, isn't that great? Then they have pop-up of wolf facts.
Oh,
Right?
interesting.
How many wolves are there in Idaho? Well, we talk about it every week. We know there's
Yeah.
about 1,500.
So were they accurate?
In their wolf facts?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they talk about on average about one wolf kills about 20 elk a year. Now,
Okay.
a wolf hunt is only successful 1 out of every 5 hunts. And in one of these videos I talk about, they actually film an unsuccessful elk hunt by wolves before they
Wow.
call the wolves in.
Wow.
Oh, it's so great. It's so great. And how they call the wolves in is fascinating and fantastic. And I know, and here's what I want. Here's what I want. I want elk season to understand that we all need help. The elk population needs help. I don't want the wolves wiped out. But the
elk,
that's 20,000. So there's 1,000 more wolves in Idaho than we need.
Yeah.
That's 20,000 elk a year that are dying that sportsmen could be killing or that could be building the population. So and that's just the extra 1,000 wolves. There's still 500 wolves killing an extra 10,000 elk every year. So sportsmen kill about 20,000 elk a year in Idaho, and wolves kill about 30,000 elk a year.
Yeah.
That's very surprising. And if we want to keep having numbers, we want to keep having elk, we want to make sure everybody just get a wolf tag. You don't know when it's going to happen. And these YouTube stories are proof of that. They're elk hunting and they're bear hunting, and a wolf, all of a sudden, wolves have a territory of 250 miles.
Yeah.
You go looking for a wolf
That's
pack.
similar to a mountain lion, actually.
You're gonna have a really tough time hunting down a wolf pack. But if you come across one, now you have an opportunity. And both of these hunters take this opportunity to harvest some wolves and are over the moon about it. Mm-hmm. They are so excited, and they all have the same opinion of, oh my gosh, I just love it. I can't believe I got a chance to kill them. You never see them. They're out here. They're going to be out here. They belong out here, but they do kill elk, and we do need to manage their population.
Yeah.
That is the message that you find on YouTube.
That's great.
It is so refreshing. It is so wonderful.
So
yeah,
let me piggyback off of the management aspect of it, and kind of tell you what I got involved with today.
Okay.
Because I think it'll fit in here nicely. So I pulled up my phone and I got this email. Says it's from the Idaho Fish and Game, or rather the Idaho Department of Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks. Fish and Game seeking public comment on draft gray wolf management plan for 23 through 28.
Okay.
So I said, "Oh, read more."
Yeah.
So that's the image I posted for you, but I need to go on my phone because I got some things that are really cool to kind of some snippets from what I went through this document. It's 50 pages.
Yeah.
I didn't read everything, but I wanted to get an idea because I wanted to leave a comment. And so I actually posted my thoughts on this plan based on what I had seen. And even though it was a bit rushed because I didn't have the most comprehensive time and it was on my phone, it was informative. It was really cool to see, what we talk about in terms of active management of wildlife. They actually, the Idaho Fish and Game are doing some things I feel correct in regard to how they're trying to communicate what they're trying to do and why that's important. So we have a sort of a philosophy I feel that sort of aligns with the Idaho Department of Fish and Game. And so in the beginning of this, so I took a screenshot. It's actually a PDF that you can download for free. They just say, here's a list of things that they're hoping to do with wolves back in 2011. So 12 years ago.
Okay.
So in 2011, Commission adopted framework for wolf management, which directed Idaho Fish and Game to 1, manage wolves in a manner that will ensure wolves remain under responsible state management in conjunction with the rest of Idaho's wildlife.
Right. Great.
Bingo. 2, manage wolves as big game animals consistent with the goals and objectives of the 2002 Idaho Wolf Conservation and Management Plan approved by the Idaho Legislature, U.S. Fish Wildlife Services, to keep wolves off the endangered species list.
Great. Thank you. Keep them off the endangered species list. Yeah.
So it's responsible management.
Sounds responsible so far.
3, control wolves where they depredate on livestock and other domestic animals or threaten human safety.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think there's much threat to human safety, but to livestock there is, and those wolves need to be taught.
4, control the population of wolves and other predators as needed to address areas of elk or other prey populations where they're below management objectives.
Yeah.
5, develop wolf hunting and trapping season recommendations for commission. 6, conduct additional species management planning as appropriate. So that was their plan 12 years ago.
Yeah.
So now they've put together a comprehensive plan based on more collected data, and the population is very large. They speak specifically to those numbers, the 1,500 or whatever the number is right now. 25. How many we have?
So there's 1,500.
Yeah, 1,500.
And
ballpark.
so
they talk about those numbers very specifically throughout the entire document. But they also mention in here about wolf attacks, so wolf behavior, wolf feeding, wolf habits, and all that stuff. And so I wanted to bring up the piggyback of what you said about encounters with humans.
Yeah.
Right. And so here's what they had, a quick blurb in terms of direct interactions with humans, what they've observed in Idaho with wolves.
Okay.
So wolf attacks on humans by wild, healthy wolves are rare in North America, and fatal attacks occur, but are very rare. And that's a 2003, 2002 reference. So there's not an updated reference there for a document in 2023.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's been 20 years.
Yeah. So wolves that are, and those references, those citations could have been years prior to that. So just because they cited it in 2002, that's somebody publishing a study about it in 2002, which means it could have happened prior to that. Wolves that are rabid, habituated to humans, defending themselves or other wolves, or responding to the presence of domestic dogs are more likely to act aggressively or possibly attack. So stuff that is fairly common knowledge, but people like to fearmonger around.
Yes.
But honestly, they're a wild species.
Yeah.
So I think I had one more snippet here. Let me see if I can find it. So the goal of the Idaho fishing game, so more specifically to the numbers.
Yeah.
Right. So manage for a stable, well-distributed, self-sustaining Idaho wolf population that can fluctuate around an average of 500 animals annually. The population would be expected to range from a high of about 650 wolves following the reproduction in the spring, reach the midpoint around 500 in November. So they're actively thinking about, we got to pull these numbers down, but then we want, our management needs to hover that.
Yeah.
And decline to as low as 350 just prior to the reproductive pulse of the following year. So, I mean, there's a lot of rhetoric that's going to be thrown out around this. And I can't say enough about how there are some great people that have done some incredible work for this document to outline it. And I can't encourage enough anybody who has any investment to this process, whether you are for or against the wolves, you need to read the work that they're proposing, because ultimately what I'm doing here is I took the time to take a look at their document and see what I liked or didn't like, because they asked me to speak to the things I liked or didn't like.
Yeah.
And they gave me a portal to go speak to them. And so I did. And I didn't have anything that I didn't inherently not like. But that doesn't mean you couldn't go in, say, this is what I didn't like about your plan. And you should do that if that's where you're at.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you have no reason to sit there and point fingers and make rhetoric the way you do if you're having a bad day about it. I'm sorry.
Or
I don't mean to get passionate about it.
Or you can just buy a wolf tag and go harvest a wolf.
Yeah.
They are so amazing.
My
comment
on this document was, because they asked for specifically if you liked it, what did you like? I said, I like that as humans have encroached on wildlife, we're taking an active role in trying to maintain an ecosystem for the benefit of our populations.
Right.
Furthermore, I like how you've given very specific details to how you want to make sure you manage predation on livestock and have fair compensation, and making sure that you have all these other factors in place. So I was very specific to things I really liked about it.
Pay attention, Colorado. Pay attention, Colorado.
And I don't know.
This is your future.
I didn't share this, but it just says, thank you for taking the time to review the draft management plan and provide feedback. So I've mentioned it before on this podcast, especially last season, about if there's an opportunity.
Yeah. To
take the time,
involve yourself in public matters. Yeah.
And so that's what I had to do. I felt it feels kind of cool to be able to be involved with that. I'm not how my stance is on wolf and stuff, but I also have, our conversations have helped me appreciate, the idea that we need to have active management of predators. So they in fact, what I read to us here today, they know that has to happen. And they spoke to it. They said, it's not just wolves, it's other predators.
Yeah.
So, as you have, competition for resources among predators, they're being conscientious of those interactions, I think, with those kinds of statements. So there's so much more to it. So thank you to anybody involved with the challenge that it is to work through a government entity that has to do some very complicated work, but it's great work.
Yeah.
So
it is complicated, and they have to have a comprehensive plan in place, and have to try to make everybody happy and make sure everybody has comment. But I like what they're doing. I like where they're going. Carter Niemeyer liked Idaho's wolf reintroduction plan from the beginning. He's the author of the book Wolfer, and he oversaw the reintroduction of wolves. The reintroduction. He oversaw. He was in Montana when the wolves were reintroduced. Somebody brought up that, oh yeah, I always think, wolves, they brought them back to 3 places, right? They brought them back to northern Montana, central Montana. They put them in Yellowstone, and they had them in the central Idaho mountains. That's not true. It was only 2 places ever. It was only Yellowstone and Idaho.
Okay.
Only. The wolves have been in Montana. The wolves have been in Glacier. Now, they have been...
And I forgot to mention that Idaho talks about how the wolf population got scaled back because of overhunting in the early 1940s or 50s or whatever.
Yes.
So they actually give the history of where the wolves were and where they went to. And so northern Idaho still had wolves.
Because Canada had wolves.
Yeah.
And Canada and the same wolves, right?
Yeah.
And they would, of course, they don't know where the border is. They don't care.
Right.
And they would come down and America had a policy of shoot, shovel, and shut up.
Yeah.
Right? Just if you see them, they're a menace. But also too, I think and be careful on this one, because when I quote the law, please talk to a lawyer. But if
About $1 for every
you
time I said
can
that.
shoot, right? If you cannot shoot from the road, you cannot shoot from the borrow pit, you cannot shoot from your vehicle in Idaho.
Yeah.
Unless you are shooting at a coyote.
Huh.
Again, don't quote me on that.
Anybody out there, fact check. Let us know in the comments.
Please fact check me. But
Whoever you
wolves,
are.
wolves are so territorial, and getting rid of all the wolves gave us a coyote explosion
Oh,
problem.
that's horrible.
Yeah. So that's
So bad that there's an image in here of somebody who hit a coyote. Was it still alive in that bumper?
I don't know.
Like,
I
I'm just
don't
throwing that one in
know.
because it seemed like the right place to
But
throw
a
it.
coyote at 80 miles an hour is something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
It's something else. It looked like its eyes were open, but I don't know how it was.
It looks alive.
Yeah.
So I'm just hitching a ride.
So yeah, we'll throw that picture up there. You see that and you go, well, it's like
Yeah.
it's grilled
And
coyote.
and having the right market for your wolf pelt is important. So just throwing that out there as well.
I sent that to you because I don't just I sent that to you. I also wanted it for the podcast because I was showing I was showing a buddy at the gym. I go, I want a wolf. I also was looking up, like, I can't go and kill a wolf with my wolf tag and then sell the pelt. Right? You can't do that.
Huh.
The harvest is for yourself. But if I had a fur bearer's license,
Gotcha.
I could sell it and I could get $2,000 for that wolf pelt. That's not a little bit of money. Right? But if I could take it and I could make one of these,
Yeah.
I mean, I would rock that thing. I would wear that to Christmas parties. I would wear that to Costco on Sunday. I mean,
CrossFit competitions before you start.
Oh, they'd love me. They would love me for it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
The wolf headdress, a real wolf headdress, is like a status symbol to me. I would really love it, and I have for 30 years. I've always wanted to harvest a wolf, and now that I'm watching wolf stuff on YouTube, I'm even more interested. I'm even more excited about it, and I don't own a rifle. Can I say that? I don't own a rifle. I got a 22. I got a 12 gauge. I got a few. I got a few, but I just don't use them.
Yeah.
And it seems like I had a 30-06
Yeah.
that I got from a friend because he needed some money. I never shot it, and I sold it to a friend who needed a gun. and that was the whole process of me owning a gun.
Yeah. I've got a 270.
I know you do.
I haven't shot it since 2015.
I know.
And same as my 22. I bought a 22
Sad,
in 20. I bought a 22, I think, in 2012.
Yeah.
And it's
We need to take the boys and the 22s out.
Yeah.
It's just fun stuff.
Yeah.
But the wolf conversation, it was sort of about creating an economy around wolf pelts. Well, you can't really do that if you can't sell them. But if we can create another reward system, right? If you get likes, and I know these guys are posting these videos and they said, oh, I know we're killing wolves and people are making bad comments. Please give, if you watch a wolf video, give them a thumbs up, give them positive reinforcement, thank them for saving elk, and thank them for helping us reduce the wolf population.
To manage the wolf population.
To help manage, yeah, and to manage it, it needs to be reduced.
Yeah.
Right. It's a little bit out of control, and we need more sportsmen involved to cull the wolf population in Idaho. And pay attention, Colorado.
Yeah, and speaking of which,
Yeah.
Colorado Parks and Wildlife.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about this, but I'll just read the first line and you take it away. But yesterday, their team was able to capture and collar, in one case, recollar 2 gray wolves in North Park. So what is this about?
It's just more wolf activity in Colorado.
It's there. They're there.
Yeah, they're there.
That's the
They're
point.
there. The first wolf puppies to be born in Colorado in the 21st century were born last year. And so the Colorado wolf story is just beginning.
Yeah,
It's
there's-
beginning. And you're not going to be able to hunt them in Colorado for a long time.
Yeah.
But if you think, okay, let's just do the math here. Let's just have some fun. We have 1,500 wolves and 150,000 elk.
Yeah.
Okay? Colorado has 330,000 elk.
Yeah.
Do they need 3,000 wolves?
They could hold on. What about
Yeah.
this? Why don't we go
Yeah.
capture the wolves here that we don't need and take them down there?
I know. Why not? They already know
Anyway.
what elk tastes like and look like.
Yeah.
You should watch these videos. Some of these,
I'm actually tempted to because it sounds really interesting. And the other thing that wolves do is they make the elk populations healthier.
that's what I'm getting at. One of these, when you watch the wolves chase the elk, those elk are working. I mean, it is during the rut. And this poor guy has to get his cows together, run them through the trees, and it's a half mile to a mile run. Okay, nowhere in 20 years ago, those elk were not getting a workout.
Yeah.
They were not exercising. They were not pushed.
Except during September.
except during hunting season.
Yeah.
And the wolves and the wolves will hunt on private land, and you can't.
Yeah.
So they'll push them from private land onto public land.
There's
and
a lot
you
of benefits.
can't. There's a lot of really great benefits. And I really want to say this about wolf calling, about calling in wolves.
So it's not a "Woo-woo-woo." It's not that.
Yeah, it is.
It is?
Kind of.
I was trying to joke.
No, these guys. Yeah, these guys. So what you have to understand about wolves is they know what every member of their family sounds like. They know every howl. All you have to do is sound different, and you're inside their 250 square mile territory.
Okay.
And they want to put eyes on you.
Wow.
They want to know what's up because they have friends, and they know they're not alone. They have a pack with them.
Okay.
And these guys, there's 2 wolves. There's 2 wolves. There's 2 wolves chasing elk. Well, all of a sudden, there's 8.
Wow. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, okay, now we've got a pack here. If you sound like a stray wolf, they're like, this wolves do not belong in this territory, and they come straight for you. And they can cover ground so frighteningly fast.
I have no doubt.
It is.
I don't have a wolf, but I have a golden retriever, and when she's ready to move, she moves.
Holy
And I once had, for a little while, we had a Great Dane, and when she wanted to move, she would move.
the stride
Yeah.
is just impossible.
She would come barreling at full speed toward me. She was 118 pounds.
Yeah. That's wolf size.
Yeah.
That's wolf size.
And I was always, and
Big.
That dog was so intimidating, but she was also not because she was a Great Dane, but just seeing 118 pounds barreling towards you, and it's kind of a narrow backyard where we lived at the time. I was just like, oh, this is gonna hurt.
Oh yeah.
And she would stop. She would just do her thing. But yeah,
Wow.
I have
Wow,
a video
so-
somewhere of her doing that.
So in one of the videos, they use their bugle tube and just howl, and it sounds terrible. You know, for me, you don't sound like a wolf, but the wolf's like, hey, they fall for it. But in another video, when they and I think they shoot 2 wolves in each video.
Okay.
And I know I watched a third where
This one says 2 black wolves down.
2 black wolves down. In the 2 black wolves down, he said what he noticed was, and this is important if you want to hunt wolves, if you're ever out there, if you have your wolf tag, you have your rifle, you have your bow, you think elk might be, or you think wolves might be close, you give them a howl, and they want to get within eyesight of you. But this guy says once they got close, he started whimpering. Like that. And that like, ooh, that went him. They got him a lot closer.
Wow.
Doing a whining call, just like your dog does a whine. Anyway, that was some fascinating stuff on wolves, and I'm excited.
So it makes me wonder if I'm hunting an elk, and this might be really dumb of me to say. I'm thinking out loud right
I like
now.
it already.
If I'm hunting an elk, I miss my shot, the elk runs off.
Yeah.
If I whimper, any wolf in the area that might have been also after that elk might come in and I can get that instead.
Maybe.
Because you missed the elk, and so you just whine.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Okay,
true.
that was
but
dumb.
we have been in the woods where we have not seen wolves,
No.
but we've heard them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now I know there's a couple noises I can make and maybe get those wolves in a little bit closer because
Yeah.
I'm only armed with a bow.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm curious about this image though. There's an elk antler in the bottom of it, and it's driving me bonkers.
yeah.
Or is it? It might be a branch and it's just sticking up like you know how branches are.
I think it's a branch. Is it a YouTube video?
Yeah, but it just looks convincing, like it's an antler sticking up at the bottom.
It does. That's the black wolf hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
anyways.
really, and those guys were so excited to get a
Yeah.
wolf, to harvest a wolf. So rare. I mean, they just the way they cover territory, and like I say, when you see a wolf laying on the ground, it's not that impressive. When those guys pick them up, and one guy was handling his paws, and you're like, holy crap! I mean, your hand can't
Yeah.
even wrap around
I've
the
seen
little
some of those
wrist
images.
of a paw. It's really stunning. It's really stunning. And there's so many of them. There's so many of them. We have 1,000 extra wolves in Idaho.
1,000.
1,000. It is. It sounds like a big number, but it's
But
cool.
the way that the animals are able to procreate,
Yeah.
is that the right term?
Yeah.
Or reproduce, I guess
Yeah.
is what I was looking for.
Well, okay.
They reproduce quickly. I mean, it's
Yes.
So the population.
Yeah, they have, and again, Decade of the Wolf is a great book if you want to understand how pack dynamics work, because you can have large packs of 17 where they have a war and all of a sudden they kill their own members and they're down to 10. And they could have, three of us broke off and started our own pack. Well, somebody else came in and joined us, and now we have a new leader. It's really interesting. It's really interesting dynamics on wolf
Yeah,
packs.
and the dynamic we added recently because of the parasite. Remember the parasite conversation?
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is still kind of mind-boggling.
Yeah, that's layered in there too. That's
Yeah.
really interesting. That's all I want to say about wolves. Sorry, I know it was a lot.
It was a good conversation. There was a lot to it, but it was a very fluid conversation. I think there's anything there that we got to worry about. And, like, it's important to have.
And I
the
think it's a great
conversation.
time right now to get out there and hunt a wolf. It's a great time. It is their fur is thick. It's February. It's cold. It's a great time as a sportsman to get. I don't know if it's wolf season.
Have fun with that.
I think I don't even know if it's wolf season.
I don't know.
Right? I think wolves are in season like most of the year, and if you get your sportsman's package at the beginning of the year, you just get your wolf tag with
Yeah.
it. But I'd have to look into that. If I was going to go,
I would imagine if. Well, I don't know if their comprehensive plan is in place or parts of it are. It's likely that it's a year-round thing, but it's a process to harvest. So.
Yeah.
2 elk calves sadly found dead after eating ornamental yew.
Yep.
We've talked about that periodically.
Yep.
It's a
Just
common,
to follow up. And is that Sun Valley?
Yeah,
Sun
catch
Valley
'em.
again?
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
catch
is
'em.
just stop.
I say Sun
already.
Valley as a region, not a town.
Yeah.
I should say Wood River Valley.
Yeah,
And every time you say Sun Valley as a region to people from the Wood River Valley, they will correct you.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Nice.
Are you guys from up north, up at Sun Valley? Well, we're from Haley.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm just throwing it in here at this point. It's something from the Bannock Association, February 4th, 89.
Yeah.
62 degrees below zero. Did we already read this one?
No, we
This
didn't.
is a different one.
Yeah.
Okay. So 62 degrees below zero. Bannock has long been noted for its cold weather, often as cold or colder there than at Wisdom or Yellowstone. Wow. Okay. As you were pointing, I get it.
Yeah,
Just
keep
reading.
Keep reading, brother.
I
Yeah.
I had to stop because I saw Wisdom coming up. So my stall was like,
Where's the first place you ever saw a
Oh.
wolf?
Wisdom.
Wisdom, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to stop talking about wolves.
I was gonna, but you brought up wisdom.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and that's a fun that story we told last year where
Yeah.
I was I thought it was a calf or something, but it was
So big.
Just you zoom in and it's clear markings.
So big. Yeah, you know when you see a wolf.
Yeah.
All right. That's wolves.
Uh,
Anyways, yeah, so it's wintertime. We're seeing some cold temperatures. I know I have Harrison Ford
yeah.
in here talking.
So that's a good place
Yeah.
to go next. He apparently likes to use profanity to describe Montana winters.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank
Same
you.
here.
Same here.
Same here.
Yeah.
You want to describe a Montana winter? You better throw in a few F-bombs because it's needed.
Yeah. Here in our winter though, we're faring very well with our water tables. Snowpacks are, it stayed cold, even though in the valleys we're losing our snow, but in the mountains
Yeah.
it stayed cold for a long time. So hopefully that trend continues and that pack can be there for a
Yeah,
bit.
if we look at this map, and I'll put it up on our YouTube. But if you look at this map, there's only like 3 sections that are below 100%,
Yeah.
and some of them are way above 100%.
I wonder so this was posted. When did you grab this?
Just this week.
Because I saw an updated version of this just this morning.
Oh, really?
And so numbers are higher.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Like,
Great.
but like particularly in our area where
Yeah.
we hunt, it's
Okay.
actually about 10% higher.
Really? Excellent. Excellent.
Like
that was
157, I think, is what. So it's
super
actually
drought.
20,
Yeah. Coming out of a super drought, now we have tons and tons. So it's
Yeah.
just like we said, we're going to follow it all year long here on the podcast. The snowpack levels and how hot it gets and when spring is and what we expect the fall to bring. So we'll
Yeah.
always be talking about the snowpack and
Always looking towards the mountains, hoping I see that white all
Yeah.
through June.
and understanding that has impacts too, because we've had elk coming down.
Yeah. In fact, that's where this next story sort of goes. We
Yeah.
talked about elk coming down to the Lincoln County area,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
that not uncommon for where Dietrich, where I went to high school, and
Yeah.
where Bess is from, to see the elk come down there. This is more.
Pocatello.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
I believe,
Pocatello,
yeah.
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 So elk invasion.
They had to be escorted out. Is that what it is? Or they had to be
escorted
pushed?
out of Pocatello.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, Pocatello's a little bit more in the mountains than
Yeah,
than,
it's right
than
there.
We are.
It's nestled in a little nook there in the bottom
Yeah.
southeast corner of Idaho. Lived there for about 2.5 years myself.
Yeah.
Wasn't bad.
There's a lot of game over there though.
The thing about that corner of the state, and it kind of bugged me, and it still does. Maybe it's just because I don't own any of myself, but there's a lot of private land.
Yeah.
Lots of private land. So
Yeah.
when I would think about wanting to go hunting over there, you'd pull up the private versus public, and it's so much private.
Yeah.
And it makes sense, settlements out of Utah, and
Yeah.
that, it's just what it is. I knew a buddy back in the day who he called me a stick tosser.
Sure. For,
he was
for
a
shooting a
rifleman.
bow.
And
Right.
and this was 2006.
Okay.
And he said he was going to go. He got his tag, and him and his buddies were going up to a Pocatello ranch with a buddy they knew. And it's like, hey, does he? Would he let bow hunters?
Yeah.
He's like, no stick tossers. It's like, oh,
Crazy. Crazy. So much harder, I think. I feel.
Yeah, I don't know.
So much
I don't know
harder
why
with the
there was
bow.
the bias against the bow hunters,
that's
but
okay.
and like whatever.
That's okay. I'm biased against them. That goes
I
both
heckled.
ways.
I heckled him, but he did bring me back because he got a bowl, and he brought me
right.
some of his bowl in the
Well,
form of a
that's-
pepperoni stick. So
Right.
delicious.
Yeah, you can't be too mean to rifle hunters in case you need some meat.
Yeah. So we made peace.
Right. Good for you.
I broke jerky with him. I don't.
That tracks. Yeah. Snap it to a Slim Jim.
Oh yeah.
Slim Jim and Kool-Aid, apparently.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that sounds like a nightmare but realistic scenario that we probably have been through.
Sounds like something I've done, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Idaho Fish and Game of the Magic Valley. Rash of elk entanglements continue throughout the Wood River Valley. So this is reported through our office down here, but
Entanglements.
entanglements.
Yeah. So this is fences and your trampolines and stuff like that.
and your clotheslines.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if it's on a fence, then I'm just going to call that elk out as being lazy.
And this
Jump
is
the fence.
and this is just a carry on from, hey, there's so much snowpack up here. The elk have to go somewhere. And when you see snowpack levels, I see this as a pretty good correlation.
Yeah.
Really high snowpack levels, and hey, there's a lot of elk in
Entanglement.
people's yards. Yeah.
So last year we talked a lot about chronic wasting disease. So I said CWD at the beginning of the
Yes, you
podcast.
did.
If you were wondering what that was, here it is: a chronic
Okay.
wasting disease. So we've been finding it in the northern hunting zones here in Idaho.
Yep.
And so,
And last week or the week before, we talked about it being in Wyoming.
yeah.
Yeah.
And being in Wyoming. And so I don't know why I needed to repeat you just there, but I did.
But
I don't
you
know
did.
why I needed to call that out either.
I don't know why you called
But
that
I
out,
did.
but you did.
Thanks.
Sorry, go ahead.
I like it.
Just teasing. Go ahead.
Do I? No. So, one of the things that we saw in the last year is that Idaho encouraged hunters who harvest deer or elk throughout
Yeah.
the state and have it tested.
Okay.
And something that we just didn't get around to with your bull that you.
No,
you've
I still
seen it.
could.
Right.
I'm out of burger though. I told you that. Right?
Yeah.
Dang it.
Anyway, looking at what they found from those who submitted from last fall. So this is our hunting season from last year. So they have some data now. And so chronic wasting disease was found in 15 Idaho cases in
Wow.
22,
Okay.
all in the same area.
Really?
Yeah. So this would be
What area?
Let me look. I didn't actually memorize where that was. Found 15 positive cases. All CWD cases in 22 came from a detected in a 6-mile radius within the state creek drainage north of Riggins,
Okay.
east
okay.
of US 95, where the disease was first detected.
Yeah. Riggins is where the salmon meets the snake.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right there. So 6-mile radius. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But it's data. So I just thought that was kind of an
Interesting.
interesting
Okay.
data point to kind of say, well, we have it. It's a problem that's up there, which makes me go, well, there's another strike for not moving up north.
It's north of here, but it's not up north.
Yeah.
To me, I feel like Moscow, or
I guess it's, well, Lewiston to me is where that line is. And that's what you're
Yeah.
talking about. So,
Lewis is pretty close. It's a little bit further north, but
well, isn't that where the,
where the snake meets the Columbia.
I'm thinking the salmon river.
yeah, the salmon goes from salmon straight
Yeah.
over, straight across
but
the
that's,
state.
but that comes out right there at Lewiston, the salmon river.
No.
No? Is
no,
that
it comes out at Riggins. It meets the snake. The snake meets the Columbia at Lewiston.
Wow.
That's my recollection. That's my understanding.
I just don't know my drainages, obviously.
Yeah,
I thought I knew the creeks, the rivers that are there at the junction at Lewiston. I thought one of them was anyway. Clearly, I need to
That's
Google
all
Map
right.
some things. But
Well, we'll
but the
figure it
point
out.
is, it's here, and we don't know. We know it's very debilitating to the animals.
Yeah.
Not sure how bad it would be. For
Did they
humans,
say
but-
whether the animals were elk or deer? They just said 15 animals.
Well, they did say positive 15 cases.
Huh.
Wow, sorry for the dead air.
That's all right.
I kind of just assumed elk, but you're right. I didn't pay attention. So
When I
15
think
total
CWD,
cases.
I think deer.
Yeah,
But that's just because they don't have large herds of elk out west or out east.
yeah, but they've been finding it in the elk, so
Yeah,
that's why
exactly.
I just kind of thought elk here. So
All right. Well,
I
if you're in that area, yeah,
get your stuff tested wherever
yeah,
you can.
for sure.
It's-
Interesting.
It'd be nice to know if it is south, and I'm sure they had testing. I
Yeah.
need to go maybe find that article and see, of all the cases they had,
That's a telling cluster, though. It's
Yeah.
a very telling cluster.
what's going on with that. So
Yeah.
maybe that gives us a clue.
Okay.
Maybe this helps us understand that disease as well.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Well, details to come. If we find anything else about CWD in Idaho
Yeah.
or the Intermountain Northwest, and the Four Corner states too, I guess they count as elk territory. I guess we talk about Colorado enough because of all their elk stuff.
I've only been there once.
Anyway, so is that it? Is that all
That's all of the headlines. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
But it was good conversation.
No,
just-
it was great. I
we-
felt like there was more, but we talked a little bit about Elk 101.
yeah.
And there was another video that I watched, and I need you to watch it because he accidentally shoots an elk in the face.
Whoops.
It wasn't a whoops. He's a good archer. He was aiming. They have it all on video. He was aiming. It was a frontal shot. He was aiming for that frontal shot. When that bowstring made a sound, the elk ducked.
Oh,
They tracked him down. That arrow killed him.
wow.
It's it's fantastic. It's
Wow.
really, I mean, top notch elk content. In fact, I think it said it was like the hardest tracking he's ever done.
Wow.
I'll show it. I'll show it up on YouTube.
Provide a
But
link or something.
It was so cool because they got to a property line. They had to stop right there. They called the sheriff. The sheriff got him a hold of the property owner. Property owner says, yes, as long as it's dead, make sure and send me pics, right? And they got to go in there and look for it, and they found it. And it's a really great story, but they did their due diligence.
Nice.
And it's really, really good
Being
elk content.
it's good to have good responsible stories that are, or stories about the responsibilities we take seriously.
Yeah.
So
a really good sportsman.
It's really, what would we say? It's disheartening when you run across those things in the field where people are just not being, ethical and courteous of the situations. There might be circumstances where it's incidental, fewer and farther between, but for the most part, when you run into those, just report.
There were characters in Montana I knew. Every year their elk story, I'd run into them in the bars. Every elk season, their story was the same. Well, I stuck one and we tracked it, never did find it. Dang it. That was it. That was his story every year I saw him.
Wow.
I don't know if it was ever true, or if it was always true, or was just true once. I have no idea. But you think, oh yeah, it's not how I would like to roll with it. But if you want to shoe it, you want to do that due diligence.
Yeah.
And it's a great episode. So
Right on.
anyways, that's all I guess for the episode.
Until next time, be well.
We'll be back with beers next week. All right. Goodbye.
Colossal Claude. We'll see you soon. Cheers.